live streaming's on. I'd like to have a, is there a mover that we reconvene the meeting? Councillor Daniel Sanderson. A seconder, Councillor Phil Truscott. We'd like to, all those for? Carried. Thank you. Councillors, there's no community and development, 11.3, so we go on to 11.4. Yeah, thank you, Mr. CEO. We'll just go to Director Parsons to give us an update on the live streaming, please.
Thanks, Mr. Chair, Mr. CEO. We've had some technical difficulties this morning. There seems to be a bit of a hiccup in the software due to a recent update of the software there. We're not certain that the live stream audio is running through to the network, but we are recording the balance of the meeting. So after the meeting, we'll be able to collate that information and post it up on our live streaming site. So we will have that meeting certainly from now on with the audio posted to our website later on.
Thank you for handling that, Director Parsons. Appreciate it. Okay, we go on to 11.4, Infrastructure Services. Item 11.4.1, Ann Street intersection, request for details of safe systems approach and safety improvements, pages 100 to 106. Any questions, councillors? Have a mover? Councillor Zane O'Keefe and Councillor Phil Truscott. Councillors, Councillor O'Keefe, would you like to talk on this?
I think it's been talked about enough.
Yeah, thank you. Councillors, I'd just like to thank our staff for the work that's actually happened in Ann Street. There's a lot of work and in the short period of time, how they've actually come up with the plans. It was run past the last week at the TAC meeting, past the police, past the main roads, and half of this approach of this upgrades to fix this is through main roads is paying for helping us out too, and we really appreciate that. And just like to pass it back to the staff. Thank you very much. It looks like we move forward. Thank you. Could we have no other speakers for or against? Okay, all those for? Carried. Okay, water and waste. Nothing on water and waste. Motion to which due notice has been given. Pages order number 12.1. Councillor Wellings.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor Chapman. This motion is just really to get a report back to Council on how we can do better in this space of employing those living with a disability. And I think it's fairly self-explanatory. If anyone has any questions, happy to answer. Hoping to see this obviously go to the Inclusive Access Advisory Committee for some comment. But I'm sure that the staff will know what to do with it and where to put it and bring us back some amazing suggestions in their report. Thank you.
Okay, any questions on this report, councillors? Did you get a second? No, not yet. I haven't asked for a second. I can second it. So it can be moved by Councillor Wellings. We've got a seconder. Councillor Paul Truscott. All those vote on this? For?
Speakers.
It's too late.
It's all good.
Carried.
Go for it.
Thank you. Councillor Lewis, 12.2, supplementary. Request for a report on outlining the plans for street planning.
Yeah, I move as per the draft motion in the agenda.
A seconder?
I'm happy to second.
Councillor David Lee. Have we got any speakers for it?
Very briefly, Chair, thank you. I've had a lot of requests for street tree planting in the Elo Waters area in particular. Some of the newer subdivisions are doing a really good job, but as the background says there, some of the older subdivisions didn't, shall we say, meet contemporary community standards, and the residents are keen for council to do some work in their area. I've had quite a number of requests and complaints in that regard, a number of inspections, and I know staff have been out there quite a number of times and have endorsed the need for a tree planting program. So essentially what the motion calls for is a report outlining a plan for this area with some indicative costings, and that can be considered further by council in its budget deliberations. So I ask for my colleagues' support in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or our speakers? Okay, it's been moved by Councillor David Lewis, seconded by Councillor David Lee. Item 12.2. All those for? Carried. Section 13, questions on notice. Any questions on notice? Section 14, general business, councillors. Any general business? Councillor Lewis.
Mr Chair, I'd like to move a condolence motion in general business. I don't know whether you need a motion to introduce that. So I move that leave be granted to allow the moving of a condolence motion in relation to the passing of Ms Val McIntosh.
Have we got a seconder? Councillor Daniel Sanderson. All those in favour? Councillor Lewis.
Thanks. I did circulate a draft, but I see subsequently there's a draft motion on the agenda papers, or at least the run sheet which has been circulated, so I move as per that. And in doing so, I want to acknowledge that the Mayor was planning to move this this motion. Unfortunately, he's absent due to illness, but I'm sure he will endorse our sentiments. And Val McIntosh was one of those wonderful people who achieved so much, who add so much to our community, often quietly, but whose praises are so often sung too softly. She worked tirelessly, mostly, but not exclusively, with the arts community, as a practitioner, an educator, a mentor. And often by their nature, those activities are carried out in small groups, in studios, away from the clamour of publicity, but they have a real impact on people's lives. The list of activities is daunting. She taught at TAFE, she was a member of Maryborough Art Society, Life Drawers, Maryborough Urban Sketches. She was active with the Maryborough Printmakers. She worked with groups like the Tyro Creative Arts Group, among others. She was a good artist. If you pick up a copy of the next Scene magazine, the cover is from the last print she made at Gattaca's Art Space. I don't have a copy with me, I've only got February, so this will be in March's. But when that comes out, look at it. It's a simple but graphic image of Maryborough industry. But it also, if you look closely, is an image of wings to fly with, bound skywards, as it turned out she was too. She was deeply involved with the work of council in the arts sector. In fact, I first met her in the early days when I had the arts portfolio in a meeting with our creative team in our region's practising artists, helping formulate ideas and programs to carry our region forward. She worked on the RIDF committee and helped formulate our arts and culture strategy in the regional gallery strategic planning. She was intimately involved and a volunteer at Gattaca's Art Space and a host of other activities. Beyond the arts, she was involved in many other activities like the Maryborough Animal Refuge and Whistle Stop, and in fact was perhaps the only woman licensed to drive the Mary Ann. And she also drove a red sports car, I'm told. I didn't know her as well as I would have liked, but I liked her a lot. She was fun to be around and she could teach you things. Her family and friends will miss her enormously. We owe her a great deal and we are sorry to see her go. She was part of the scene and will always be there in our hearts, but the scene won't be quite so complete without her. So I move the motion as per the paper.
Okay, can we have a seconder, please? Councillor Daniel Sanderson, seconded.
Chair.
And he was just seconding it. And it's a little bit late. Okay. Speakers. Any speakers? Any other speakers for? Councillor Truscott, Phil Truscott. You right? No speakers? Okay, put it to the vote for a minute silence. All in favour? Okay, I'd like to stand for a minute silence for condolence. Thank you, councillors. And Councillor Lewis, I'd just like to say those lovely words that you've Okay, no confidential. Have we got any late items? Item 16? We've got a late confidential reports.
Organisational performance.
Yep. That council receives and notes the organisational performance report for a period ending 31st of January 2024. Any questions?
Happy to move that.
Councillor Hanson, moved by Councillor Hanson, seconded by Councillor Lee. Now speaking for...
Just a quick question. Just in relation to the environmental data and the waste management, is there any issues going forward with respect to future reports? There's no data available?
No, just through the chair, and thank you, Councillor Lee, for the question. It was a timing thing. So a lot of the operational data we require to come through our operational systems, and so the compressed reporting time frame from this particular ordinary meeting hasn't allowed us to get that updated in time. In terms of the ERA data, the major variance there is just that transition where we've had Toowoomba Reeves facility come online, so we've seen those exceedances tail off. There's some wet weather exceedances that we've experienced over December and January, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Thank you.
No, you've got to move in a second. You've got questions. Yeah. You need to put to the vote. There's
Any other questions? I'd like to put it to vote on that. For? Against any?
Councillor O'Keefe abstaining.
No. For. Okay. Carried. Motion carried. So then we go into here.
So you'd like to... I'd like to move 16.
I'd like to move to item 16.2. Yeah, the council move into closed session, pursue to section 254 of 3 of the local government regulations 2012 for discussions of the following items for the reasons. In accordance with section 254 3G, it is necessary to close the meeting to discuss ordinary 16.2.1 on boundary road extension. Proposed pavement design change due to market constraints as it relates to negotiations relating to a commercial matter involving the local government for which a public discussion would be likely to prejudice the interests of the local government, as the discussion will involve the report is required to remain confidential as it concludes commercial sensitive information relating to other parties. Have we got a mover? Councillor Lee, seconder, Councillor David Lewis. Would you like to vote? For? Against, if any? Carried. Councillors, I'd like to move into confidential.
live stream.
We're live streaming. Thank you. Councillors, we move out of confidential and back into the open meeting. While we're in confidential, we spoke about items 16.2.1 and looking for someone to move the officer's recommendation on the supplementary pages 23 to 41. Councillor Jade Wellings. Thank you. A seconder, Councillor David Lewis. Would you like to put that to the vote? All those for? Any against? Motion carries. Councillors, no further business. Close the meeting at right on 11 o'clock, 60 minutes. That was really good. With a break. No discussion. So thank you very much and
So
appreciate it.
just confirm that live streaming is stopped, so we're still live streaming at the moment, we're just waiting for the minutes section to confirm that. And we got the microphone off, while we're doing waiting for that as well.
Do I have the sign?